Thank you, sir. Now, in California, healthcare workers have administered more than 3 million doses of the COVID vaccine. That number will ramp up now the state's making it available to anyone 65 or older. However, some counties say they don't have enough to meet this demand. It's a race against time as the cases push the state to the brink. In terms of the average new cases, California is much worse than the overall US. Look at this. Worse than the European Union. Even worse than the recent hotspots like Ireland. If you look, California is way above them. Now, Todd Gloria is the mayor of San Diego in California. The county reported nearly 2,500 cases of COVID. You see, the mayor joins me via Skype. So there is some people who believe that the vaccine should come straight to the states. Cut out the middleman at the state level. Should come straight to the cities. I should say. Do you believe it would be better if the vaccines were sent to you?
Well, I would welcome that opportunity, Richard. You know, we here at the city are making it work by having our firefighters become vaccinators, by providing police officer support as we have these mass vaccination opportunities in the community, but we don't have direct access to the vaccine itself. And as a consequence, that means that we don't always have the supply that we need, particularly as the population is expanded to include 65 and older. We could get a lot more into people's arms, but we don't have that direct supply. We have to wait from our counties and from our states, and that is slowing down our process.
So the situation in California is fairly dreadful. Not only number of cases, number of deaths, the poverty, etc. Can you tell me, in your opinion, Mr. Mayor, everybody had 9 months to prepare for vaccination. Why has it gone so dreadfully all over the place in this country?
Well, from where I sit, Richard, it seems as though, well, let me take a step back. Kudos to those involved for getting Operation Warp Speed to get us the vaccines. But it seems as though they won the first half, went to the locker rooms, and didn't remember to come back for the second half of the game. Here we are as local officials on the front lines of the fight against COVID-19 without the resources or the doses to actually get this into the community and get us back to normal. To your previous question, having that direct access would be beneficial. Having dollars to actually afford to do this. Right now, I'm doing this out of our general fund without any knowledge of how we might be reimbursed. And that's at the same time that we've seen our tax revenues plummet and we're facing a $124 million budget deficit. This is an untenable position. It is undoubtedly slowing our ability to vaccinate more of our population and get back to normal.
Right, but Mr. Mayor, are you hopeful that out of the $400 billion that is in President-elect Biden's plan yesterday that he put forward, $400 billion is put for helping states, and I assume from California it would then trickle down to cities?
Yeah, I can't begin to express how overjoyed I am to see the president-elect's proposal. We have been waiting for this kind of bold leadership for nearly a year. This is what we get when we have amateurs running our federal government for the last 4 years. With the Biden-Harris administration, we have seasoned professionals that will help us get the job done. That is giving me hope. It is hope that I'm trying to impart to the people of San Diego to recognize there is an opportunity on the horizon. We can put this behind us. It's just the delay that's unacceptable. And as you mentioned, each single day we get more people testing positive, more people dying. This is unacceptable in a country as wealthy as the United States.
Do you think that well, I hear you on that last point, sir. Do you think that Joe Biden's call for an unofficial mask mandate, which would pretty much start next week, will be received?
Well, I can tell you as a mayor at the city level, we're having difficulties with enforcement. Let me be clear. The vast majority of San Diegans are complying with the face mask orders. They're complying with the business limitations, but we have a number of folks who are not. And my message to them is that they are undermining our ability to get this virus under control. We have asked law enforcement and others to begin enforcing upon that. This will not be easy. But Richard, we have to do this because even after getting vaccinated, people are going to have to continue to social distance and take that mask wearing before we can defeat this. We are months away from normalcy, even after the vaccine. So I appreciate leadership at the federal level that is not undermining the efforts we're doing here at the local level.
OK, but Mr. Mayor, one of the things I'm having a difficulty understanding, and I'm glad you're here to talk about it with us tonight. If I look, as we talk every night, at what France is doing with a nighttime curfew, England is down in full lockdown and will be for several more weeks to come. Germany is in lockdown. Melbourne is about to go into lockdown. I don't see any similar massive draconian measures being taken or at least being adhered to in this country.
Well, you're correct. I mean, we here in California have been under a stay-at-home order for nearly 2 months now. You might notice my hair is a bit long. The hair salons are not open. Restaurants are not open for in-person dining. We do have a curfew of 10 p.m. But, you know, the challenge that we're seeing here is that that is not a universally held sentiment. Just next door, we have a state that is not doing that. Not to mention our partners in Mexico who also have a different kind of response. I think what you're calling for is a universal response to this pandemic, and we need that. As you well know, we have been absent strong federal leadership on this issue from day one.
Finally, what a glorious place your city is, having been many times. It is one of those great, but it is a place that relies on tourism. It is a place that relies on visitors, and that is hurting. What's your plan for getting the whole thing starting up again when you can?
Well, I put forward what I call our Back to Work SD plan. That really is a comprehensive look at what we can do, not just to reopen our economy, but to do it better than it was before. And you're exactly right. Our hospitality, our tourism, our events are the ones that are hardest hit. We couldn't have Comic-Con this past year, a major revenue generator for our city, and hence the massive budget deficit that we have. What we're going to have to do is communicate clearly to the public that when we reopen, that it is safe to come back here. The good news is that San Diego has perfect climate year-round. It's over 80 degrees here today. And so when you come back here, we have wide open spaces where you can come with your family and feel safe and confident in doing so. Richard, I look forward to welcoming you back to America's finest city as soon as we're able.
Well, if I could travel, I'd be there. You're 80 degrees. I'm 43 degrees. I'm just looking down here, bearing in mind for the rest of the world, that's an old language because they're all in Celsius. But Mr. Mayor, good. We will be there, and we look forward to being with you in San Diego in the future. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity.